just feeling all the thoughts and feelings from the day. Just washing over you and your presence, but not really touching you, just flowing over you like waves over the sand at the beach. Right now, you're just present here in this moment. Breathing, feeling appreciation for the breath. Knowing that all is well. Breathing in the present moment. Breathing out, this is a wonderful moment. Taking deep breaths. Just taking pleasure knowing that all is well. Luxuriating in this present moment. All of the things that transpired in this day are part of the past. And everything that's going to happen tomorrow is part of the future. But we know that the only thing that's real, the only thing that you can touch ever, is right now, this present moment. And we just arrive here together, sharing this moment. There's nothing more powerful than stopping what you're doing and being together with people that you love. We all breathe the same air, taking deep breaths. And just becoming aware of what is it about ourselves that we can really feel and experience in a tangible way. We can feel our breath in our body. We can feel our fingers and toes if we wiggle them. We can feel the air around us touching our skin. Feel our clothing. We can feel where we're sitting. We can hear the sounds in the room that we're in. We can feel our body working with perfect balance, all the systems that sustain our beautiful, healthy life force. We can feel our eyelids closed over our eyes. You can feel our muscles in our face just relaxing from the top of our head and down through our neck and our jaw, our shoulders, just feeling like a heavy, comforting, warm feeling of just relaxation, like a heavy thing just wrapping around you like a big, warm, heavy blanket, just flowing down over your body. down over your shoulders and your arms and your torso and your legs. And you're just wrapped up, feeling that comfort. And then we start to take notice of all the things that we perceive, that we spend time thinking about, that we spend a lot of our time dwelling on, and a lot of our energy flows towards. Things like the past, what happened earlier today, what happened this week, what happened this year, what do we think is gonna happen tomorrow? But we know that those things are not real because the only thing that's real is right now. And when it's tomorrow, the only thing that's going to be real is right now. And when it was yesterday, the only thing that was real was right now in that moment that you were in. And anything beyond this moment is really just part of a story that we create about ourselves, about the people in our lives, about the events that take place. And in a very real sense, those things are an illusion. It's an important illusion because it gives us continuity in our life. It helps us to navigate the world and navigate the relationships that we're in. But that part of ourselves, all the roles that we play in the world, it's an important tool, but sometimes it needs to be put back in the toolbox, because when it's allowed to take up too much of your attention and your energy, then it starts to work against you, because it's a survival tool. It's your ego. It's the part of you that's making sure that you have a place to live and food to eat, and that you're in connection with the people you need to be in connection with, and that you're doing everything you need to do in the world. But when that part of yourself starts to run your inner life and your emotions and your feelings and your relationships, then it can cause harm. It can cause harm to you, and it can cause harm to the people in your life. And there's another part of yourself that is much more vast and much more tangible, and that's the part of yourself that is present here in this moment right now. That other part of yourself that thinks about the past and the future, it can never be present in the present moment. It just can't. It's not able to. All it can do is think about what's about to happen, or what just happened, or what happened before, or what might happen next. Because it's just a tool. It's not really who you are. When you think about all the different roles that you play in the world, think about you're the child of your parents. If you have children, then you're the parent of your children. If you have a spouse, then you're the partner to your spouse. You know, what is your livelihood? It's the thing that you do, the people that you're friends with, all the past relationships you've had, all the things that you believe about yourself, whether they're positive or negative or indifferent, all the things that you put time and energy into. If you write all those things down on a sheet of paper and really think about it, you might come to realize that that part of yourself is not really who you are. All those things make up about that much of you. Just about the first digit of your little finger. And the rest of you is really beyond language, and it's beyond words, and it's beyond what your rational ego mind is able to comprehend. And that's your divine self, your higher self. It's the part of you that's completely joined with God and with the universe. And there's no separation. The ego is all about separation. It's all about, I'm here, you're there. I'm here, God's up there in heaven. I'm here, you're over there. But the reality that we know, as Reverend David teaches us, is that all things are one thing. God is all that there is. If God is all that there is, then that means God is me. God is Chris. God is Michelle. God is Linda. God is PJ. And there's no separation. It's all one thing. And sometimes we forget that, and we get so involved with thinking about, what do I need to get to be okay? What did this person do that got in the way of me getting what I need to get to be okay? And how does that make me feel? And do I have a resentment towards that person? Or is there something that I want that I feel like I need to have in order to be happy? But the truth is, everything that's really valuable, you already have. And everything is in this breath and in this moment. And nothing else is really worth anything compared to the treasure that is the breath that you have in your body right now. Because without that, you wouldn't have anything else, right? Just feeling, just acknowledging, and it's wonderful to feel gratitude, but just acknowledging the reality that this is all that there really is, this moment. Everything else is just a phantom, just a shadow, just something that we imagine, a story that we make up. But when we allow those things to take over and run our life, then we start to feel unpleasant feelings. We start to feel, we get buildup of feelings like resentment and anger and shame and regret and disappointment. Because that ego mind, as we all know, nothing is ever enough for it to feel okay. It's just part of being a human animal. We have to be striving, because if we get complacent, then we might forget to eat or something. So it's important. Like I said, it's a tool, but we don't want it to run our life. So what do we do instead? With our daily spiritual practice, prayer and meditation, affirmation, we can start to wash away those things that stand between us and our divine self, between ourself, our true self, and God. Things like shame and regret and anger and disappointment and resentment. All those things really are, you could think of them like an affront to God, an affront to the divine, and the divine that's in you, that is you, which is always there. It's always with you. But we lose sight of it. We focus on other things, focus on these phantoms and these shadows. But the beautiful, wonderful thing is that we know it's always who we really are, no matter what. And no matter what state of being we're in, no matter how caught up we are in those illusions, we are perfect, whole, and complete just as we are now. And there's nothing that we need to do or fix or change to be perfect, whole, complete, one with God, worthy of unconditional divine love, and receiving that love always on a constant basis. Sometimes we have to sometimes we may want to go into meditation and prayer and become aware of our mental state and say, and ask our higher self, that is God, to help us to realign with the divine flow of love and energy. And something we can do in the morning when we wake up, we can go into prayer and meditation and kind of reset. I know when I wake up in the morning, I have to start pretty much from the beginning all over again. I wake up in the morning completely wound up in all my thoughts and everything about the day and all the things I wish I could accomplish or hope I'll accomplish, or the fears I might have about what may happen or what I may not be able to accomplish, or all those things come rushing in as I wake up. And that's why I go into meditation and prayer right away. And I just notice and I ask God to help me. And that help is always there. And I want to align myself with the aspects of God, the true aspects of my true being, which is love and kindness and honesty and humility and a desire to be of service to other people, to be helpful, to lift up other people, to think about other people before I think about myself, if I can. A lot of times we're so focused on ourselves. And again, it's that tool, that reptilian brain part of ourselves that is so important because it serves that important purpose, keeping us alive, keeping us fed and sheltered. But again, we have to make that conscious effort with prayer and meditation, daily spiritual practice, so that we're not allowing that part of ourselves to constantly be focusing in on ourselves all the time. When you're focused in on yourself, you start to become isolated from other people and from divine love. When you're so focused on yourself all the time, then again, you can be just that divine flow of love. It might be something that you're not aware of, even though it's with you, it's flowing over you, through you, around you all the time. But we may want to take this time in the morning to realign with the qualities of God, to help to wash away those things that may be separating us from our divine nature. And then we go out into the world and we try to carry that with us throughout our day. And we may pause during the day as needed to realign, to breathe, come back to this moment, to realize who we are and what we are truly, that we're not our story about ourselves, that's not really who we are. We're not really our fears. We're not really our resentments. That's not who we are. Those things are just part of that tool that we need to have and we need to be able to use to navigate the world. But we don't want that to be running our lives all the time. But the beautiful thing is it's so simple and it's really so easy when we just make a decision to do it. And we say that eternal flow of love and divine energy that's flowing over us, through us, when we just open our awareness to it, open our heart to it, it's just flowing through us like a river, like just a flowing waterfall of love, unconditional love and acceptance. The only way that I've ever found to really love myself is to open my heart to be loved by God. That's the way that we can love ourselves. And that's the way that we can truly love other people, by improving our relationship with the divine that is us, the divine that we are. So we might wake up in the morning and we might just start at our toes and say, I'm relaxing my toes. And as I relax my toes, I ask God to let me be separated from those things that I don't need in my life, those feelings and thoughts that cause space between myself and the divine. And I ask God to help me to bring in love and kindness and honesty and humility and a desire to be of service to other people. When we are of service to others from an unselfish place, we're really giving ourselves the most beautiful, wonderful treasure, gift that we could ever receive. And it just changes who you are. Change from that self-centered ego to a loving, kind being. And it just, there's no feeling like it when you're just reaching out to other people. When you feel that feeling, when you feel distressed, when you feel uncomfortable, the best thing you can do is to look around and see, who can I talk to right now that may need to be cheered up, or ask them about how their day is going, or what can I do? What small little thing can I do for someone else? And when you do that, when those alarm bells are going off and you're like, I feel really uncomfortable, I feel anxious, I feel these feelings I don't like, that should be an alarm bell going off that says, I need to go find a way to be of service right now to someone. And just feel the wonderful relief that you get when you do that. Relief from your self-centeredness and your all of those feelings that we don't want to be feeling, those uncomfortable feelings. So as we breathe, we feel our legs, we're feeling our legs relaxing, our toes, our feet, our legs relaxing. And we just realize that there's really nothing that we need to do. We can just relax. And, holding ourselves tensely and tightly in our jaw and our shoulders and our body, because we're just kind of in a state of anxiety. It's not helping anybody. It's not helping you. There's nothing that you need to do to be loved completely and fully accepted by the divine that is you, the divine that is the universe. And so you can just relax and just be grateful for that. If you've been chasing something or running away from something, you can stop. There's nothing there. You don't need to run anymore. And when we do this, we feel God's love all around us. And we feel that we're resting in the arms of God. Completely safe. There's nothing that we need. There's nothing that could possibly improve this state of being. There's no house or car or relationship or bank account balance that could possibly have any effect on how fantastic and wonderful and glorious and beautiful it is just to be here right now in this moment, filled with divine love and divine breath. And just following along with that thought, we come to realize that it's not our job to fix anything in the world, to fix anybody. And we can't. There's nothing we can do to fix anyone. All we can do is be kind and loving. We can't tell anybody else to do what we think they should do. We can't change things in the world that we can't change. All we can do is choose how we act, the actions that we take, the words that we say. And we can't control the result of those things. And the beautiful thing is, when we realize that, we realize we don't have to worry about it. All we have to do is do the next right thing that we can do, no matter what the situation, and then let it go. We're not in charge of anybody else but ourselves. And it's just a relief to know that. Just to say, I surrender to the divine, the will of the divine, knowing that all will be well. And I am just guided. I'm guided by divine will. And I know that the will of the divine is all about love. It's all about kindness. So there's no great mystery to be solved. It's really, really simple. Just breathing. Just knowing. And when thoughts come up, all those thoughts when they come up, which they do and they will, we're just like, hello. And they just flow right over. And then the divine love is flowing. It just washes them right away. And they come back. And divine love washes them away again. It's like the waves on the beach. And you're just wiggling your toes in the sand, in the wet sand. Just breathing and gazing out over the ocean. Seeing the horizon, seeing the mist on the water, seeing the sunlight glinting on the water, the clouds in the sky, feeling the warm breeze coming off the ocean, smelling that ocean smell. The waves are lapping up on the sand, washing over your feet, your ankles. As you breathe in, breathing in the present moment, breathing out, knowing that this is a wonderful moment. And the wonderful thing is that the more you do that, the more you pray, the more you meditate, the better it gets, the easier it is, the deeper it gets, the easier it is to go deep. And then you find yourself just dropping in the middle of the day. And those alarm bells go off, and you're like, just breathe. And you come back to this moment. And you take possession of this priceless treasure that outshines any other treasure that you could ever possess. And you breathe, breathing yourself back into the room. Just feeling like you just woke up from a beautiful deep sleep. Knowing that all is well.